Hi, I'm Dan, and welcome back to the Rock Nerd Radio Show here on YouTube. You know, change is good, and today I'm changing up my Avengers display, and I figured it might be fun to do it on camera.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
So I'm starting off the rearranging of my Avengers display by putting the HasLab Giant Man in. Literally, as of this recording, the HasLab Giant Man correct eyes arrived from Hasbro Pulse. It is March. It is March 8th, and they said they would be here in like December. Whatever. I'm not going to sit here and start a fight and try to get clicks just because of how late these arrived. I'm glad the correct eyes finally arrived. They're just the eyes looking straight. Those are the ones I didn't have. While I've had Giant Man, I've had the zombie eyes in the head, and aside from looking a little cloudy, they actually didn't look that bad. So this is what's prompting this, is that the eyes finally arrived. I also took the initiative to finally kind of be able to bend his fingers because those joints were so tight that I wasn't able to move them. So I held him under a hairdryer for a little bit today. But yeah, here's Giant Man, and I changed my Avengers display. It used to be in one of the cubes that you can kind of partially see off here, but my whole display is a bunch of cubes. I kind of broke down my Avengers display and lessened it. I took a lot of characters off it and put them in other areas. The main focus of the Avengers display now is like Jeff Johns era Avengers characters, the Earth's Mightiest Heroes TV show characters, and just some Avengers that I really like. That's ultimately how I'm doing this. Some I have on flight stands, some I don't. We're going to get into it. So, first character that I'm going to put on, and actually now that you see Giant Man, I think I'm going to zoom in a bit, and I'm also going to pan down just so you can see things a little better, closer to the ground scale here. All right, so the first character I'm going to put on is Hulk. I go back and forth with needing a Hulk in my Avengers display. Yeah, he was a founding member, but I feel like, at least when I was growing up, he really wasn't part of the Avengers. But he's here. I'm going to leave him here. And I think he looks pretty good. He also was in that Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon. I'd have him in the back just because he's a bigger character. Another character that I'm going to put on a flight stand nonetheless, is Wasp from that Hank Pym and Wasp 2-pack. Now, this Wasp looks absolutely stunning and gorgeous, and I really do like her. Let me just kind of straighten her out a little bit. There we go. I just have her on this flight stand. Her head's still a little crooked. There we go. With a character with wings, I wanted to showcase her in flight. Now I will say I don't have the alternate head on with the pointy mask. I actually was never the biggest fan of that, so I like having this head here. That Wasp did come with a regular scientist-looking Pym. I don't think I need this on my shelf at the moment. He was hanging here, but I think I'm gonna be taking him off the shelf and just using him for other stuff down the road. I do have other Ant-Mans that will be going on this shelf. All right, moving along to another character who's kind of on the larger side. Very important Avenger. We are going to be placing Thor on the shelf. The funny thing is, I really do like this Thor, but I feel like it's starting to show his age a little bit. The legs don't... It might just be mine, but I feel like the legs don't really want to cooperate that much. It's kind of hard to get him in a really good stance. So I do find that I tend to put him in the back where he can kind of lean on stuff, if that makes sense. Just so, in case he does fall down, he has support. So there we go. He'll go back there. Another Avengers character that I like and would love to get an updated figure of some kind is the Black Knight. Now, I know they did the Black Knight Cersei 2-pack where he has, the 90s look with the jacket and a sword. I customized that way before that figure came out. I still like the original one, but, this particular body... I know the chainmail legs tend to snap off and stuff, so I'm afraid to even move him. He's just kind of hang there. Moving along, we'll get Wonder Man next, and my Wonder Man is the Safari Jacket Wonder Man head with a regular Wonder Man this body. This could really use an update. I got that Wonder Man, the Safari one, on a great sale, so I didn't feel bad about really just cannibalizing it for the head. The body is just in my fodder bin. But, I was very happy to have that. So, there we go. Moving along, who are we going to put up next? How about we put one of the Ant-Man that I was talking about? This is Scott Lang in his comic Ant-Man suit. This is more of a somewhat recent comic Ant-Man. I am dying, and I've been talking about it how I want it for years. I am dying for a Jeff Johns accurate Ant-Man, perhaps in a 2-pack with Jack of Hearts. Really the only Avengers character I feel like I really want still on my shelf that I've never had a figure of. So he'll go back there. I'm also going to put Vision up on the shelf. This is that more recent Vision from the Void Build-A-Figure wave. I do have him on foot stands because I was having trouble getting him to stand up. So he'll just kind of go back there. And yeah, this is kind of blending into my X-Force, which blends into my X-Men. But it's just, space constraints. I am trying to cut back on Marvel Legends, and changing out my Avengers display was actually somewhat therapeutic for me. This was a big deal for me. Moving along, I'm also going to add Tigra. Tigra wasn't really into John's Avengers run. She wasn't really in Earth's Mightiest Heroes. She's just a character who I really like. I've always, for a while, I want to say since the early 2000s, she had like a 4-issue miniseries when Marvel would do like Marvel Icon miniseries. I've loved that character since then, and I really like her in the current Moon Knight book that Jed MacKay is writing. So yeah, she gets to go in my Avengers display. Moon Knight, not actually, but that's okay. We're gonna keep going. Next character, she's an important Avenger, even if I kind of hate her. It is the Scarlet Witch. I do have the Family Matters 3-pack Scarlet Witch with my Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. She is still an important Avenger. Big into that Jeff Johns run, did the whole Avengers Disassembled. So she makes it, as does her brother, Quicksilver. On this shelf, I will have 2 Quicksilvers. There's Quicksilver with X-Factor and a Quicksilver with the Avengers. But hey, he's fast. Maybe he's running between teams for photos, So I'll put him next to Scarlet Witch since they are siblings. We are going to move into the only vehicle that I have in my Avengers display, which does take up quite a bit of real estate. It is Hawkeye on the Sky Cycle. This was a really cool kind of, vehicle that we got in the Marvel Legends line. Let me lower this just a little bit more so you can see him. I am very happy with this. I don't know if I need the Sky Cycle in my display. Like I said, it does take up a lot of room, but I do like to put Mockingbird from that West Coast Avengers pack on the back of this with Hawkeye. I think I can kind of get them to go. You know what? I think I'm going to put Wonder Man's fist down, even though it is showing off his power. So if I put his fist down, slide this out, that might have enough room for Hawkeye and Mockingbird. I'll turn Hawkeye's head forward, lean Mockingbird forward a little bit. Why is she still leaning backwards? There we go. She's kind of smacking Wonder Man in the face, but there we go. I think that kind of works, and it does still give me room for some other characters. That looks good. You can still see Ant-Man. Camera's not coming in as good because I'm more at a straight-on angle, but if you look up, from like an up angle, you can still see Ant-Man back there. All right, moving along. Who else do we got? I guess I'll put regular Hank Pym on the shelf now. Kind of a weird choice for me because I have Giant Man and now I'm going to have Ant-Man. I feel like both need to be represented, even if it is the same character. I used to have the Goliath and Yellow Jacket. I've since sold them, but if they did another Yellow Jacket, I would consider putting him on my Avengers shelf. The many personalities of Hank Pym, right? So put him here. There we go. All right, and then I think it's time to put King of Wakanda on my shelf. We'll put Black Panther here. Always looks cool on an Avengers shelf. And I'm realizing I might have more room than I initially realized, so I might be able to space some of these guys out a little more, which is nice. But anyway, moving along. Let's put Black Widow up on the shelf. We'll put her by Hawkeye and the Sky Cycle. Actually, that's not really the greatest fit. Can I put her like this? Nah, I don't like that either. All right, let's just put her here. I think that looks pretty good. somewhat front and center. And again, not a character who I really grew up thinking was much of an Avenger. The movies have clearly changed that, and she was in the Earth's Mightiest Heroes show, even if she wasn't necessarily on the team. But we are going to put Carol Danvers as Miss Marvel. I think that looks pretty good right here in front of Hawkeye on the Sky Sled. And then the last two that I have to put up are, of course, Iron Man. I go with that nice, shiny red and gold one. And Captain America. This was the 20th anniversary one. I really want to put a better shield on him because I hate the 3 holes in that. It's cool that there are blast effects, but I would have loved if they just included 3 little nubs for the shield that would have filled in those holes. So there we go. That is just about all that I need for my Avengers display. I'm going to zoom out for a second because, as you can see on the bottoms of my shelves, I do have, like with X-Force here, nameplates. And from D. Blake Makes, you can see there is his business card there. I do have a very nice Avengers shelf logo that I'm going to stick right here under my Avengers, since that is where they're standing. I just put some double-sided tape on them, stick them there, and it's pretty good. So there we go, just a kind of quick video today. Wanted to highlight how I rearrange my Avengers shelf. There are a lot of characters who are no longer on this shelf that have been in the past. Falcon is on my Captain America shelf. War Machine is on my Iron Man shelf. And some other various ones. But yeah, this is pretty much my Avengers shelf and what I want. The only ones I'm looking to replace, like I said, or get, I want a Scott Lang Ant-Man in the Jeff Johns era costume. I want a Jack of Hearts, and I will probably be putting She-Hulk back on here at some point. The one that we got on the Iron Man retro card, she is currently in my Secret Wars display, but I did pick up a second one that I'm working on customizing to match her costume from Secret Wars. And when I do that, the other one will probably end up on this Avengers display. So there we go. Let me know. What do you think of my Avengers display? Is there anyone missing who you think I should have included? I'll tell you if I have them in my collection in the comments below and where they ended up. Characters like Hercules, Thunderstrike, they're on like my Asgardian god kind of shelf. But I'm sure there are some characters who you might be screaming, why don't you own these? And I'll tell you why. But let me know what you think of my display in the comments down below. I might want to add some more flight stands, kind of have some more dynamic posing going on, because right now they all are a little vanilla, but some of these heroes I think deserve to be in some cool kind of flying positions. So I might work on that too. Anyway, remember, you can check out the Rock Nerd Radio Show on your preferred podcast platform. That is a weekly podcast hosted by me and normally by my good friend and co-host Vinny. As I said, you can find it wherever you catch your podcasts. We talk about all kinds of pop culture on there. And until next time, hey, I've been Dan. You've been pretty awesome. Thanks for tuning in.